What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Six Gaming Podcast. Filling in for your host, as always, it's Runkly. It's kind of funny because I see Shosun as here on Discord. Like, he's not away. He's actually got a little green circle.
Well, we should bug the shit out of him then.
We absolutely should. He just commented on a post too. What the hell's he doing? He's stuck at work. Oh, he's stuck at work. What a jerk. I thought he said he's taking Saturdays off.
This is bullshit that he's like working and making money. Like,
yeah, what's this making money thing?
Bullshit.
Do that on Monday through Friday.
This is Saturday night at 11:10 Central.
And he's working.
8 Pacific.
He's making
9
turkeys.
Mountain time.
He's making turkeys.
This is important, goddammit.
Yeah, that's the point. This is important. But he's missing it. But here we have, joining me as awesome and illustrious as ever, the man, the myth, the millennial. Damn.
I'm not a millennial. I remember the world before the internet. I think that automatically makes me not a millennial. Maybe I'm an old millennial. I'm part of the Oregon Trail generation.
Let's go with that. That sounds like the best option. Of course, I'm Ron Klee, filling in for Shosun. We might get a planet at some point, but he said he was going to be here, and I had to send him a damn text message, and he hasn't responded to that. So
just
whatever.
Send him pictures of Kohl's website.
Send him pictures of Kohl's website. Yeah.
I just wanted to let you know that I just got an alert on Steam that says Sheepdog McFry is now playing Bathroom Simulator 2.
Lovely. Anyway,
so I think it's important that we're
not going to cover this. We're not going to cover this. What we're going to do is we're going to look at Facebook here, and we're going to taunt Shosun here. I'm going to say, you're missing your favorite part of the podcast. It's the first half of the show. It's news. There we go. So,
Ron, you should close your porn tabs before we look at your shared screen.
There's no porn tabs here, sir. Sorry. But yeah, we have news this week, and we have a lot of it, and amazingly, not a lot of it is E3. In fact, I don't think we have a single E3 story on here, just because E3 has been so freaking bland this year. I mean, seriously, come on, guys. Like the only game that was announced that was new, I think, was called A Way Out.
So
that's about it.
When did it end today?
I honestly don't know. Let's see. Let's find out. 13th through the 15th. So this is kind of like the in advance thing.
Yeah. So we'll get some more shit.
Hopefully we'll get some good stuff, because what we have so far is just AAA BS.
Yeah.
AAA BS.
Sometimes E3 has like those things you're like, oh my God, look at that awesome game. I want to play that. But it's rarely new IP. It's a lot of like, oh, this is the continue. But it's like, okay, Mass Effect Andromeda came out. We all know how that went. It's getting slightly better as they go. People are kind of like, we had too high expectations, and it's a decent game in its own right, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. But anyway, by the way, I'm Bentharian. Ron didn't introduce me.
I certainly did.
Yes, you did. Sorry, I'm drunk.
Bentharian, and then I said mine. Yeah, you
did. I'm drunk. I'm just still drinking.
We don't have any league news today, so what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Schlafly, which I believe is out of St. Louis. It is coconut cream ale. It doesn't taste a lot like coconut. I'm kind of disappointed. It's good.
Does it taste like lime? Did they put the lime in the coconut?
They did not put the lime in the coconut.
Not put the lime in the coconut. Oh,
damn
it.
You nuts.
Anyway, what we do have for you guys is a lot of Blizzard news today.
We have a ton of Blizzard news. All I found this week. Now,
but to be fair, there's been a lot of Blizzard news.
So just as a point of reference, I get most of my news. So when I swipe right on my phone, I've got a Pixel, and so it brings me to like Google Now, and so it shows me a bunch of stories of shit that it thinks that I might be interested in, and so I think sometimes I look at the Blizzard stories because it's gaming news, and then it might serve me up more Blizzard stories, and that's what I post.
That might be what happens. About. Like, yeah, I have that happen too, but I actually made a separate section in Google News for video games that it helps me out from time to time. I'll get some good out of it. Most of the time, it's like casino games. And it's like,
I know. I get the same shit.
Fuck you. I don't want casino
Gaming
games.
does not mean slots.
Yes. To be fair, the guys that did San Francisco Rush 2049 went on to do a pinball casino machine.
A pinball casino machine.
Yeah, basically, the better that you do, the better your odds at winning.
I would
You're not guaranteed
lose so much money doing that.
I know it's such an awesome idea having seen it. But anyway, let's start with Heroes of the Storm. There's like a crossover event going on with Diablo 3 right now, and actually not right now. I think it starts
Starting
Tuesday.
2 days. The
Tuesday?
13th.
Yeah, 13th, going on to the 26th.
Tuesday.
Basically, what you do is you play 15 games with a friend in versus AI or quick match or ranked or unranked as a Diablo hero. Not just Diablo, you could be like Vala or the Monk or Witch Doctor, whatever. And you can get Leoric's Charger mount and one epic chest in Heroes of the Storm and Ghost Kerrigan wings in D3. Of course, wings are all the rage in Diablo 3.
There's not that many wings to get, so
yeah.
And they look better than the shitty fucking set dungeon wings.
Let's not talk about set dungeons.
Fuck set dungeons.
Can we make a rule to not talk about set dungeons on this podcast?
What are set dungeons? I've never heard of them.
I don't know either. But anyway, they're also finishing. Is it Heroes of the Storm finishing up their anniversary event?
Yeah, I think it's their second anniversary.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So through the 12th, you can get a chest by playing one game per day. Play 3 total games to get a portrait, spray, and a banner. So you gotta get started today.
So pretty much free shit. I mean,
Yep.
And it can be like novice versus AI. Like it can be the simplest thing. You just gotta play.
And also, there's a contest for winning in IRL loot chest. That kind of looks neat.
Yeah, it's got like art print, stickers, pint glass, magnets, hero codes, like real codes for real loot chests, or not real loot chests, codes for
skins and heroes
loot chests in the game. But it's just fun shit, and you can get, and it looks like it comes in like the real, like a
that's a neat part
like
about it. The box looks like the actual in-game model, which is it's kind of cool when they do stuff like that. So neat little giveaway going on. And then moving on to Overwatch. Oh boy, we have Overwatch news. First of all, they have a double XP event going on. That goes through Monday at midnight. I know my wife's been taking huge advantage of that. I hear her knocking people off with Reinhardt like every other game.
That wasn't me.
That wasn't you? I thought it was you. Who were you knocking people off as? Like 2 games later, you were like all pissed off because you were
I
missing.
feel like Soli is a Roadhog main.
She is not a Roadhog main. She's definitely not a Roadhog main. What would you consider your main? Bastion?
Play whatever it gets me.
What would your main? What like if you other than like if you didn't have that option, what would you play? She's thinking.
I don't know.
She has no idea.
I'm an alcoholic.
She's an alcoholic. Bad person to ask.
So Lonnie,
I'm a main. Just saying.
Lonnie is here from the Arcade Discord, and apparently thinks that we're still gods. So the question is there a chance that cities will be able to get Forestals? And the answer is neither of us have been gods for years.
I've never been a god. I just want to point that out.
You have been a goddess.
We didn't have to go there, but I've never been a god. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, the double XP event if you play Overwatch, it's pretty cool. I like the game. It's pretty fun. And speaking of which, I was watching one of the high level players. I think it was TSM Calvin, and he was playing games.
Master.
Every TSM Team Solo Mid. Every other game, it seemed like the guy was getting a lever on his team. And to his credit, he was extremely positive about it. He was like still trying to get his team to perform. But I mean, when it's 5v6 in a professional environment, you're kind of screwed. So Blizzard is aware of this being a big problem, and they're about to bring the ban hammer down pretty hard on these people, like to the point where if you do it enough, you're going to get banned from ever playing ranked again. Period. Done. You keep doing it, GTFO.
Yeah. Totally gone.
The problem is that they also say that this is a problem with people with bad connections. So I hope that doesn't kind of get mixed in. Like they kind of have some kind of metric to say when it's a bad connection and stuff like that. So,
But if your connection's bad,
yep.
they you don't need to be playing.
Yeah, but banned permanently, you can get a better
Well, but
connection.
they've kind of said it in the article that I read. It's like if you have a shitty connection, like they can kind of tell, and so you get a few warnings, and then like they'll look at the case on a case by case basis, and like if you have a shitty connection, then they're not gonna screw you over that bad.
Yep.
But if it's clear that you're dumping out and you're like, oh, I have a shitty connection, and then they'll be
Yep.
able to tell like if you close the game or not.
And then, of course, we have had a litany of clones of this game. And there's one in China right now that looks, I mean, it's not like the exact artwork like that other one was. Remember that one? Where they like literally ripped off Widowmaker? Like
Yeah.
completely. This one is more, you have the same types of characters. Winston is a fucking panda bear.
He's a panda.
It's a fucking panda. I mean, that's funny. So yeah, a lot of bad clones out there. Don't know if Blizzard's gonna go after these guys because it's not a direct art ripoff.
But like all of them have basically the same abilities, and they're
It's
very, very
it's towing the
close.
line. It's towing the line for sure. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
And what's this about? There's new job listings at Blizzard for a new first-person game.
StarCraft Ghost confirmed.
Oh, please. We have the Illuminati here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, some kind of first-person project. I mean, maybe it's a first-person Warcraft RPG. Maybe it's StarCraft Ghost. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's some totally new IP. Maybe it's somebody working for on Destiny 2 out of Blizzard. Who knows? It could be anything.
Yeah, it could be so many things that could be. And even if it is a new project, there's always a possibility it gets canceled. Project Titan, StarCraft Ghost. That's not the first time we've seen a project get canceled, but hopefully whoever works on it will end up being all right. I mean, look what happened to the Titan team.
Yeah,
They go on and make Game of the Year and freaking Overwatch. So yeah, there's that. Moving on from Blizzard news, we had this was kind of amusing because to see this play out over the last week, because basically CD Projekt Red, of course, they're responsible for what's the name of it?
the greatest RPG that has been released in the last gazillion years.
I don't know about that.
No, it's amazing.
What's the name of it? Because it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think.
Oh, you're being serious.
Yeah,
It's
I'm being serious.
Witcher 3.
Witcher 3, yes.
Well, all of Witcher, but Witcher 3.
Well, yeah. And basically, what happened is apparently there was a leak or a hack or something, and a whole bunch of stuff for their upcoming title, Cyberpunk 2077, got taken from them. And they said something along the line. What did they do? They like held it for ransom or something?
But yeah, so like the hackers or leakers or whatever happened, someone outside of it got the information, and they said they're demanding a ransom for this information, and then they'll hand it over and not release it if they get the ransom. And
Right.
I didn't see how much the ransom was. It was whatever. CD Projekt Red released a statement almost immediately that basically said, look, they got some shit that's old, or that at least maybe it's recent, but it represents the product not as the final release will be,
Right.
and therefore they don't give a shit. They basically said, fine, do whatever the fuck you want. We're not going to pay your stupid ransom.
That was pretty
And
cool. And they released it anyway.
The leakers said, okay, fine, that we're calling your bluff, and they released some stuff. So if you go out there and search on it, you can find some information on what the characters and story and whatever is at whatever moment the leakers, hackers, whatever, got that information. Now, will CD Projekt Red change those things just to spite them? I mean, that's a lot of work if that's actually been developed to any extent, right? Like, I mean, when you're developing a game, if you model your main character and you write your story and you've got your code written and shit, like that's a lot to redo just to spite these people. But if you can change the character's name and maybe rewrite parts of the story that are, not tied into a lot of stuff yet or whatever, maybe they can do that.
Indeed.
So I think CD Projekt Red is a great company. They've done a couple questionable things here and there, but I mean, there aren't any perfect companies, but most of the stuff they do is really like the kind of stuff that I want to support as a gamer for the companies to do.
Exactly. And then one last thing. Apparently, the game For Honor is hemorrhaging players worse than Tom Clancy's Division.
Yeah,
That's-
I mean,
it's why are we
They
talking
just-
about like Wild Guild here?
it's no. Everyone hyped the shit out of it. It was supposed to be this amazing game. We talked a little bit a few weeks ago about how like you'd have to spend $1,000 on like the unlockables or play for 3 years or 5 years or something,
Yeah.
a few hours a day. Like it's crazy. Now, again, to their credit, the developers basically said, look, we assume that you're going to main one class and you'll unlock all that shit. And then maybe you'll slowly unlock other stuff, but like you'll focus on one thing, and that they don't really account for the fact or care about the fact that most gamers want to unlock everything. Like they want 100% shit. Like if they don't, if there's one voice line, right. If there's
Here's
one
the
voice
storm.
line for Mercy that you don't have yet, and you have everything else, of course you want to get that last thing and complete your collection.
Mhm.
So people are going to want to do it, and they're losing players because the gameplay is just not that good, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'll do it if you don't have a good base for your game. It doesn't matter how much customization you put in it. I just got a message from Veg. His internet's down. He sat on the router again. Can you believe that?
Well, I mean, if he's near the router within about a mile, it ends up crushed against his body.
That's true. So, yeah, poor Veg. So, any
My-
other noteworthy E3 info? I know that this is the first year that they're having the main part of the E3, which is the 13th, 15th. That's actually open to the public for the first time.
Yeah,
instead
I
of
just want to
press.
really quick go over to the Achaea Discord. Mayu said that I called Witcher 3 the greatest RPG, and I'm trolling.
Uh-oh.
Now, I'm not saying that it's the greatest RPG ever. I mean, obviously, like Baldur's Gate, and I mean, honestly, I thought Neverwinter Nights was good. It was kind of a technological thing. KOTOR. There's obviously a lot of really good ones. But
Right.
in the last few years, Pillars of Eternity also is up there. In terms of storytelling, graphics, sales to people who might not normally play an RPG, I just think it was very good. I got 100 and something hours out of it on one playthrough.
Pretty
I
good.
mean, yeah, most people were
Like
like,
literally,
well,
he sat down for 100 consecutive hours and played.
yeah,
through it. So-
I brought a Gatorade bottle and it was all good.
That
No,
wasn't
like
drink the Gatorade, by the way.
that was not to drink the Gatorade. No, like, yeah, people are like, well, I played Baldur's Gate with every single class and I have 5,000 hours in it. Like, okay, but I mean, just over 150 hours just in the main game. I haven't played the DLCs, and I didn't even finish everything in the main game. So just like the amount of content, and it's not like, well, what was that shitty game that you and Veg and Show were playing? Where you go to the center of the galaxy that everyone fucking hated?
Oh, No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. It was not like No Man's
That
Sky
reminds
where
me
it's
of
like,
news for them.
you know, it's an ocean that's an inch deep, right? Like
Yep.
there's just a lot of story, a lot of content, and I really liked it.
Yep.
So, Mayu said that they're very biased on Divinity: Original Sin, which was also an excellent RPG.
Yeah.
I think Witcher fulfills a really good it's a 3D story driven, but also with the gameplay, it's not as tactical. Whereas Divinity: Original Sin was a very difficult, more like, and also Pillars of Eternity. It's a tactical in the style of the older games like Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale, and so they're definitely all RPGs, but like a console type.
Yeah.
That also is on computer. That's a slightly different kind of RPG in my mind versus like the tactical isometric-ish RPG.
Yep.
So
Anyway, yeah, you mentioned No Man's Sky, and that reminded me there was some news from No Man's Sky this past week.
really,
Apparently, Hello Hello Games sent out 16 different audio cassette tapes. And on the B side of them was just what was a bunch of random noise. But if you played it in a computer and did a spectrograph on it, this
course.
code would appear. And in that code, if you decipher the code, it's basically portal or portals. And basically the idea being that the next update's probably going to have something to do with the portals that were supposed to be in the game a while back.
So you can portal to someone else's world or what?
Who knows? This is all the information we have right now. Just basically Hello Games getting crazy.
I feel like
you're laughing. Hold
so-
on, Kathy's laughing. Why are you laughing? Oh God, we got a silly shark over here. Bye,
is there
love.
gonna,
Don't get me banned from Twitch, dear.
Hmm.
No. We won't say what she just threatened to do. So yeah. So
was it lift her shirt on air? Because
yeah,
I mean, we can do
you
that.
guessed pretty well. No, we can't. We actually cannot.
Oh,
You get banned from
No-
Twitch for doing that.
no one report us.
No one reported. Here, let me go
did they-
delete the VOD real quick.
Yeah. So what were we talking about before I started talking about solely lifting up her shirt?
I think we're just wrapping up with No Man's Sky with the portals
Oh,
and stuff.
yeah. So like when maybe it was actually the Portal ARG, but like a while back, it was a thing. Like, oh my God, what's all this random noise? I don't understand.
Yeah,
and
that was
somebody
the Portal
was like-
ARG. There was the I ARG. That one was big. That turned out to be Frog Fractions 2.
Yeah, like,
Um,
but what I mean is like, it was this brain blowing thing that like someone put it through a spectrograph and got an answer. And now it's like, oh, I hear random noise. Well, let's put it through a
Let's put it through a
spectrograph and see what it
spectrograph, yeah.
is. It's not like I wish people would come up with something new. Like it's kind of cool, but it's kind of
yeah,
lost
and
its-
I agree that totally seems Hello Game-ish to copy
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
yeah, like actually that's really funny that like Hello Games, this company that said they're going to bring all this new shit and it's just old shit. Like
Mhm.
they're just repeating the same things everyone else is doing. That's the old tired way of doing stuff.
Yep. So
Although I'll still be
what's No
honest,
Man's Sky?
if No Man's Sky goes on sale for less than about $5, I'm going to buy it, and
What is it at right now? I don't even know.
probably way too much.
Let's see. No Man's Sky on Steam is currently
$29.99.
$29.99.
I'm just guessing.
Nope, it's still full price, $60.
Oh my god.
Recent reviews are mixed. Overall reviews mostly negative at 32%, 42% within the last 2 weeks. So,
Honestly, if they dropped their price to 30 and had multiple
this is
50%
not
off,
worth $60. You guys already got your freaking lunch ticket.
yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, they're still developing for the game. They're still adding stuff onto it. So we'll see if it ever becomes any good. We've seen games that's happened to before.
Sure.
But with the hype that No Man's Sky has, they have a long way to go. So anyway, unless you got anything else,
I got nothing.
then we're going to move on to Shosan's favorite part of the show. I'm not going to tweet this out to him or anything because he already knows that he's missing the show and it's really beating him up inside that he can't play these games. I was really weak this week.
Games.
Yeah, that was a little over exaggerated. I don't know. We can never get this part right. Yeah, we changed the name of this part about what 30 times?
What the fuck are you playing?
No, that wasn't it. That was the music section.
I know, but I rebranded again.
Yeah, but Shosan wanted to call it, "Hey podcasters, what you playing?"
Hey, it's the Wrecking Crew.
It's a Wrecking Crew. That was okay. But I mean, it didn't really tell you what it was. And, games is just games. Yeah,
Games is
it works.
games.
So, Penth, what have you been up to?
I've been pretty busy this week, and so I have just been doing my Heroes of the Storm and Overwatch since you get a bunch of free shit.
Yay!
I really want to finish out the Diablo season. Last season when I played the Demon Hunter, I really liked it and just fucked a bunch of shit up. This season playing Wizard, I just have not been feeling it. And again, it's the set dungeon. I just have no desire to do the set dungeon. And I feel like if I could just, I feel like if I could just get past that one, I could do the other stuff. But I just don't care.
Yeah. Season ends the 23rd, by the way, at 5 p.m.
Well, then there's no fucking way that I'm getting there. So
sorry.
So I'll probably this week play some more Dragon Age. I'm gonna try to get done with that. I don't know what I'm gonna play next. I might actually study for my certification for project manager, since I need to take the test by
That's a bad game.
October.
Yeah, the reviews on it are negative.
It's horrible.
It's just terrible.
I might play. I don't know. I got a bunch of shit in the last couple. Maybe I'll play like XCOM, or maybe I'll play Inside. I got a bunch of stuff in the last Humble Bundle monthlies. That's just sitting in my library, just like normal.
Yep.
Game Collector Simulator 2017.
Dude, I've been trying to work through that, and I still have so many games I haven't played yet. But I keep buying new games anyway.
I know. It's just it's like,
awful.
oh, it's under $5. I'm going to buy it.
And this week, I worked on. I bought Formula Fusion and played that.
I don't know what that is.
It's a racing game.
Yeah,
just recently released. It was in early access. It's very similar to the game Wipeout. It's kind of a fun game. It was a little frustrating at first though, because you keep crashing the walls and you can barely get out of last place. But what the game doesn't tell you, and this kind of annoys me about the game, is that there's a workshop. And you go into this workshop and you can change out like the handling, the engine, stuff like that. It's like, oh, I get in here, I change out 2 things. All of a sudden, I'm winning every race.
Oh, I think you posted a link to that, right?
Yes.
So it's like it looks like F-Zero kind of.
It's more Wipeout than it is F-Zero.
Okay, but it's like 0G racing on crazy tracks and shit.
Yeah, anti-grav racing. So it's pretty cool. It's worth checking out if you liked Wipeout, that kind of game. I'm not sure how far I'm going to get into it. I've only played like less than 2 hours, but what I have played has been kind of okay. What's really annoying is that they have this one race called Endurance, and basically you have to make it the furthest distance before you explode. And it like reduces your health as you go on. You have to pick up these health packs or shield packs rather. And eventually you get the amount you get drained outpaces how much you can make. And eventually you explode. And I was in the lead, and this motherfucker who was playing slow and steady, like about I think it was like 5 kilometers back.
Beat you with a blue shell.
When I exploded, he made those 5 kilometers and then some. I'm like, oh, fuck this. So yeah, it's kind of a fun game. Also been playing a little bit of Spelunky here and there. Scrapes has been interesting because I'm in this kind of combat test mode right now, where I got this guy like barreling down my base and trying to see if he can get in.
Fuck him up.
So far he hasn't, so we'll see if that continues. Like I mentioned, a little bit of Spelunky, and then Crypto Necrodancer. Yesterday I played the Puzzle Door, which is the puzzle racing set. You have to be the fastest to finish the puzzles, and I just handed my crown to Spooty Biscuit. Pretty much.
I mean, of all the people to hand your crown to, that's not the worst person.
No, I mean, Spooty Biscuit he solves them so fast too. It's pretty amazing. So, congrats to him for winning that. It's very cool. And then, going to be playing a lot of Death State and Sublevel Zero because Shots Fired is coming up in a week and a half. I'm going to be running. It's going to be late on Thursday, the 22nd. It's 9:47 p.m. Pacific is Sublevel Zero, followed immediately by Death State. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's a perfect time for me. I'd be streaming during that time normally. So, but yeah, I've been practicing Death State. I'll be doing Sublevel Zero tomorrow. It's gonna be cool. I'm really looking forward to this. This is my first speedrunning marathon that I've actually participated in. So hopefully that's a stepping stone to bigger and better things. So yeah. That's about it. There's one other thing I wanted. Oh yeah, I played The Witness. Like remember last week I was doing the 24-hour stream?
Yeah.
And like I played one other game after that, and then I played The Witness for like 8 hours straight.
I have not gotten to it. I still have to finish Talos Principle before I get to Witness.
Oh my god, The Witness is just so addicting, and the puzzles are so fucking hard. I'm finally in the mountain.
I feel like
but-
we talked about The Witness, and at that time you were like, I think you just like draw lines and shit, and it's not that it doesn't seem interesting.
Well, I mean, it's the thing is it's extremely interesting because every panel is a puzzle,
Right.
and trying to figure out one, what the hell the damn symbols mean is challenging enough, and then two, getting to a point where you understand it enough that you can do the really complex ones that involve like a lot of the symbols. It's really fun. I highly recommend it.
Well, I've got it, and I'll play it soon. By the way, I just want to take a second to say hi to Cardes72, Laniara
Turned
1,
in.
Morthif. What?
Card is turned in.
Cardes. Oh,
We've
that's
been
right.
over this before.
Yeah, well, I don't remember this shit. Morthif, who's Morthif? And Toaster
Who's
Tommy
Morthif?
7.
Morthith is a regular, sir.
Yeah,
And Coles was here and gone.
fuck Coles. I mean,
Coles
people
is-
do, but
No. We don't want to do that.
I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying people do.
You know what we do want to do? We want to move on. We want to move on to the third half of the show.
Let's
And
do the
this
third
is Six Gaming Roundtable, where we ask you a question about gaming, and hopefully we get like halfway intelligent responses and not trolling.
I'll take trolling. I'll be honest. Trolling's fine.
Trolling, it's kind of okay because you can make fun of them, but you don't
I'll
really
take
want
trolling.
to. Trolling,
Trolley.
like trolleying.
Trolley.
That's kind of weird.
We'll go to the land and make believe. On the
Well,
trolley.
Well, I believe you had the question this week, did you not?
I made up a question like as always.
Who made it up last week? Just going out there.
I don't remember.
It wasn't you.
No. Well, then as always, right? I mean, I have the question as always.
It wasn't you. So, okay, it's like show son. It's always to get it. Go ahead.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So what is the best party game ever?
Ever.
And because of just the way we do things, let's just name a bunch of awesome party games and try to pick one. Ever.
Now, like, are we limiting this to anything?
Maybe if you want to give categories, right? Like, so you can say like Carcassonne or
Mhm.
Settlers or
Are
Ticket
those-
to Ride.
Okay,
Like,
to be fair,
and-
those are good games. I don't know if I'd consider those party games.
I would consider them games that you play during a party with smart
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, that's true. They're up there. I mean, there's always. I mean, we could talk about like Scrabble or what was the
Sure.
one,
If you want to say
Pictionary or
Monopoly,
categories, Monopoly. There's a whole bunch of like, well, not Monopoly. That's the game where you beat up your opponents.
no. Well, what I'm saying is
that causes fights.
maybe you feel that like maybe you get a kick out of 2 a.m. board flipping. Maybe you think that's awesome. So if that's your answer, that's what you can say.
But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking like, for me, it all depends on who I'm hanging out with. Like if I'm hanging out with my family, normally it's like board games or word games in the lake.
Mhm.
If I'm hanging out with some of my this one guy, Serene, that's when we get into the Settlers and Carcassonne and stuff like that. I can't remember the last one we played. It was really good too. But I mean, we played a whole bunch of different types of games with a large number of people. It's really awesome. And then, of course, I mean, you got the party games on PC, like Jackbox, or on consoles, you got like Mario Party, or even Mario Kart is a good party game.
Mhm.
Stuff like that, like fighting games. Yeah, I remember hanging out at my friend's house. I think we were playing Tekken 3 at the time, and we just take turns playing for hours.
Yep.
Just so it's. I think it all depends on who you're hanging out with for it to be good.
Mayu asked about Jackbox Party. So Jackbox is a
So good.
game. There are 3 Jackboxes. They're made by the company. I think it's just called Jackbox is the name of the company now, but it used to be Jellyvision. And they made You Don't Know Jack 1 through
94.
7.
No, it's about 94.
No. I mean, like,
There's so many You Don't Know Jack games.
right, but I mean, there's like,
Yeah.
there's a couple like specific ones for like sports and whatever, but I think it's 1 through 7. Anyway, so the way that it works is you have the game up on the screen, and then you use your phone or an iPad or another computer or whatever to bring up. It's like Jackbox.tv, and then you put in a code, and then that joins the game. So you can have like 10 people all at your house sitting around on your couch and shit, and the game comes up, and one of the games, for example, is what's the one about Quiplash?
I think that's one of them.
Yeah, that's one of them. Also, what's one about lying? Something. Lie Squad.
I don't remember all of them.
Anyway, what it's like?
There's a cheap ripoff of what's the Keep Talking. There's a cheap ripoff of that game.
Oh yeah, bomb something or other. Anyway, like one of them, for example, it says, this is a game in a South African country where people use a blank as a ball, right? And so everyone types
Fibbage.
Yay. That's what it was called. And everyone types in an answer, and then everyone picks what they think the right answer is, and then you get points based on if people pick your fake answer and if you pick the right answer.
And you're saying that this is a game you could hop everyone up on the couch and play. But
Yeah.
This game was also made for like Twitch.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is
You put it on low latency, and it is so good on Twitch. I mean, I've played a couple of them. It's a lot of fun.
Most of the Jackbox 2 games actually have Twitch settings, right? Like they're made so that you can play with your Twitch audience, and some of them support up to 100 players.
That's ridiculous.
And so you can play with all your Twitch followers, and like basically it extends the time, right? So like even though you're on a 20-second delay or whatever the hell Twitch can be,
It will add that 20 seconds.
It
basically
that,
counts for the delay.
And it like it's not the first person to answer or whatever it is. So it accounts for that. I would agree. I think the Jackbox games in recent memory are some of the best party games because everyone can play. Most of them allow like 2 to 6 players. If you're having like a dinner party, right? Like adult shit that we're supposed to do. You have 2 other couples over. All 6 of you can play games together. Maybe you have 3 couples over. Some of them support 8 players or more. So
there's games like Cards Against Humanity that stuff
absolutely.
Like that. It's just like absolutely hilarious.
In terms of the best game ever, that's hard.
A hard one to say. I don't know if I could put a label on that.
Yeah, I mean, I would say in recent memory, the Jackbox games have provided my wife and I and our friends an enormous, unequaled amount of entertainment with our friends. So, at least in recent memory, those are it. Now, certainly,
I can't tell you how many times back in my high school and post high school days, I had parties where we would play Axis and Allies.
We played a little of that.
Oh man, I've probably played that like 24 times, and they're long games too. I mean, you have to prepare yourself for playing this game. It's really good.
Now, I mean, if we're looking back though, like I mean, I think about college, the amount of times where we got a case of Bud Light and played the shit out of just Halo, right? Some guy had an Xbox. We hooked it up to a big TV. We thought it was big at the time. It was in someone's dorm room. Yeah. Like a 36-inch TV in someone's dorm room, right?
Where the cathode ray part is like as big as veg.
Yeah,
they made things that big in the past.
Yeah, like the rear projection TVs that were just stupid big.
Oh.
Yeah, so I asked the question, but I didn't have an answer. I mean, if we're talking about board games, I think Catan in the last 10, 15 years or whatever it's been since it came out is a big part of board game party game culture.
Right.
In terms of video games, honestly, I really liked playing Keep Talking and No One Explodes.
That's a fun one, yeah.
With you guys after the podcast, we were for a few weeks, we were playing every week.
It's just so hard to get everyone together for something like that.
Yeah, Maya pointed out Munchkin. Munchkin is a great game to play in a group because you can keep adding cards and there's really no limit to how you play and who you play with. Yeah, I mean, and then you, I mean, if we're really going just wide, like categories and Pictionary and all the kind of
All the board
old
games.
style board games, not the new style board games, like I think it originated in Germany, right? I
I
thought
have no idea.
is that like Catan and Carcassonne and like all those kinds of games actually originated as German board games or based on some German board games. But anyway, like the old American board games were all fun too. So
Yep. Right.
I definitely I would encourage all of you, anyone watching, to have a board game night or a gaming night. Like I've talked a little bit about the game Eon Alter. That's another. It's an RPG where you use your phone as your controller, so you don't need to buy a bunch of controllers. You just put it on your TV, and then it's like Gauntlet. It's a turn-based Gauntlet where everyone uses their phone as their controller. So
Pretty neat.
play
What's
games
the
with
name
your
of that one?
friends. Eon
What's the
Alter, EONALTER.
Interesting.
Yep.
Have to check that out. It's $5 on Steam.
Yep, it's cheap and it's episodic. So episode 1 is what the main one, and then there's 2 and 3, but it's not that much. They're on sale for $2.99 regularly.
Yep. So yeah, definitely check that out. But yeah, very cool.
Any of you guys? So Mayu said Fibbage and Munchkin. Worthif for Lanny or Cartas?
Coles is gone.
Coles. He
Coles
left.
knows what his party game of choice is.
Hide the sausage.
He likes those sausage parties. So yeah, we're let's pretend that never happened. We're gonna move on, and I guess this is where the point in the show where we wrap things up. Huh? Before we go,
Wrap it up. You wrap it up. Wrap it
before
up.
we do that,
You wrap
I'm
it up.
gonna have to get up for a second here. So one second.
Bye, Ron. What's Ron getting? Ron's getting a thing. He got a thing.
Okay, so recently, of course, as you know, it was my 40th birthday, right? And I do this thing every Saturday.
Ron's
every
old
odd
as
month.
shit.
Yes, I'm old as fuck. I do this thing every other Saturday, or every Saturday and every other month, called the Observatory, which is a descent-based tournament. And I do it online, and of course, I have this big gaming thing behind me, and you can't even make out the one descent thing that's up there right now. Anyway, so one of the participants from the last couple seasons decided to correct that, and I got a box in the mail today, and starting with this thing right here.
Hey, it's the Descent
It's
Chef.
a 3D printed pyro. Unfortunately, this did not make the package. So one of the hard points is got busted off. But this thing right here is my pride and joy now.
I want to see what it is. It's a plasma cannon.
It's a fusion cannon.
Fusion cannon.
Fusion bitches. I love fusion. It's my favorite thing in the game. It's like my go-to weapon, and it's got some weight to it too. This thing is not light.
Not a cluster missile.
No, it's not. And it looks just like the model. It's got these little wires here, the little yellow hazard thing on the side. Yeah, it's so awesome. I love this. So thanks to Dracona from the DCL for sending that over. It's really awesome. So We'll have that up on the wall. There's also, I don't know if you can see it. Right.
I was looking.
Right next to Arya over there, there's a right next to the mouse. You can see this like a little red thing. Looks like a hemorrhoid. That's a proxy mine.
Kind of.
It's a proxy mine.
Sure.
So yeah, that's what that is. So yeah, cool. So that'll do it for the 680 podcast. Thank you all for joining us. As always, we come at you every Saturday, 8 p.m. Pacific or 10 p.m. Central Time, as Show likes to say. So yeah. So there's that. Dan, anything you would like to say before we go?
Once again, anybody who's interested in wanting to join us on the podcast as a guest host, we are always open. I mean, the Ron and Pence show is always entertaining. We get through shit right on time, and I hope we entertain you. But we like having extra people on here, and while everyone can always, if you close your eyes and concentrate, you can feel the gravitational attraction of Vegito from anywhere on Earth.
Yeah, anywhere.
He's not on the show all the time, and show's busy, and Dropkick's like in the middle of the desert playing Magic.
With his catalog.
Did I mention that last week? I don't remember if I mentioned that last week. I did. Oh yeah. Like Wizards sent them like a fuck ton of cards.
Yeah,
so, I'm jelly. Yeah. So if you want to join us, all you got to do is send us a message.
You could join our Discord server at you can find the information at 6six.gg. You can.
It's such a good website.
There. It's such a good website.
6.gg.
And you know what? We have a bot on the server that sucks less.
It sucks less. That is our.
It sucks way less than it used to.
Yeah, Ron fixed it. Now it sucks less.
Yes, it sucks way less. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, we've got a whole bunch of people. A whole bunch of people signed up that I didn't even know stream. So it's really cool to see that. And we must have broken the 100 person mark because I can't see who's offline anymore. That only happens when you break 100 people.
Oh, so I guess we got a fuck ton of people.
Yep, but I mean, we've been seeing a whole bunch of people playing Overwatch and Heroes and stuff like that. So
118 members.
Nice. It's a good place to be if you want to find people that do that kind of thing. So yeah, cool. So unless you got anything else,
I got nothing.
I think we're going to see you guys next week. So until next time, Dan,
see ya. Bye.